Hello everybody and welcome back to another video here on Brotherhood Outdoors. I hope you guys are having an amazing day, and if you have not joined the family yet, please subscribe. Would love to have you guys on board. I know I haven't posted a video in a while here, those of you who have been subscribed for quite some time, and I do really appreciate you guys sticking around, watching the videos, and so on and so forth. What we're going to be doing today, I've got the CenterPoint Sniper 370 crossbow here. This is a crossbow that brought a lot of people to the channel. And there's a lot of people here for different reasons, different videos that brought them in, but a lot of people are here because they're interested in this crossbow performance-wise and a lot of other, very important aspects about it in terms of speed, performance, knockdown power, and everything that you get for 250 bucks. I guess it's almost an unbeatable package. I don't know what out there is better for 250 bucks. I would like to make known that yes, there may possibly be something out there better for $250, but I'm just giving it how it is. I think that's one of the best options that you can buy for $250. Performance-wise, it's just hard to beat. I love the thing, shoots great, hasn't really let me down. But what we're going to be getting into talking to you about today is the truth behind broadheads. What should you use? Fixed blade, mechanical, what is the most important thing? Is it speed, or is it knockdown power, is it accuracy? And it's a good combination of all those things. So what we're going to do, I got some new broadheads in here, and I know that in previous videos I had mentioned how I like the NAP Spitfires or whatever they were, and how I thought they were great broadheads and all this, and truth be told, I spoke too soon. Ended up shooting that broadhead and doing some testing actually on video. If you want to go back in my Sniper 370 playlist, I did a video on this bow and I was testing the NAP Spitfires, and I don't know what happened, but basically I took the shot and that arrow got about 10-15 feet out of the bow and it just started doing this swirly crap and missed the target by like 5 feet, and basically the blades had deployed just after being fired, and those were crossbow recommended broadhead. So I don't know what happened. I'm not going to say, oh, they're just a junk broadhead, because I don't know what happened. Maybe there's some kind of defect. Guys were saying, oh, well, you messed up. You're supposed to use rubber bands. They did not come with rubber bands. There was no instruction saying you needed to use rubber bands. I've never seen anybody use those broadheads and have a rubber band on there. Maybe with rages and stuff like that, but I've never seen rubber bands on that particular broadhead the way that they were designed. They're supposed to just stay locked in. But then, basically they're spring-loaded or something to where basically on impact they're supposed to then, open up and do their work. But what I got here for broadheads this year, and this is a one that I was looking at for quite some time after getting mine and having that problem with the blades deploying, and I'm like, you know what, I've never really been like a die-hard, fixed blade guy, okay? I've really believed in mechanicals. I've killed lots of deer with mechanicals out of my compound bow, and I've getting into these crossbows here, and I was never really a big crossbow guy. I was always like, gotta use a compound, that's the manly thing to do, use a compound. And to be truthful, like I've already killed so many deer with a compound, and I'm only 17, but I've already killed so many deer with a compound now. I'm just like, I really don't get much of an adrenaline rush really either way, more or less using a compound over, crossbow. I haven't even killed a deer with a crossbow yet, but I'm not one of those guys that's like gonna start knocking you anymore about the whole crossbow thing. Like I believe in them. I think they're just great pieces of equipment that allow more people to get out in the woods and enjoy the sport. Maybe have some handicap problems or conditions or bad shoulders. I mean, who knows what. But I really do like crossbows, and I'm very thankful that we have them now, and I'm going to start using mine a lot more just because of the comfort and the ease of use, and how many more opportunities it does open up for people. But basically what I've got are the G5 Montech broadheads. These are 125 grain fixed blade broadheads. I've seen some really, really good stuff on these, really good reviews. It's a 1 1/8 inch cutting diameter. It's a 3 blade. I mean, these things can be resharpened very easily, and they can go the distance. These are a very quality made broadhead. They're a one piece, so they're not going to fail on you. They're not going to open up when you take your shot, basically, have you blades swinging around and stuff with like a 2-inch cutting diameter. Like, this is going to be a heavy hitting broadhead. And now what I want to get into, more importantly than just get a heavy broadhead, let me try to get into, I want to use these because they're fixed blade. Never been a huge guy about fixed blades. But after that problem that I had with the mechanical, I'll probably never shoot a mechanical out of this crossbow again. Out of my compound, heck yeah, I'm going to use a mechanical still, because I've never had an issue with them. I use the G5 Havocs out of my compound, and those broadheads, I mean, they're devastating. They leave some crazy results, and I really do believe in those as well. For compound, use the G5 Havocs. I'll leave links down in the description below for those, as well as these G5 Montex 125 grain, and I will leave links to these as well so you guys can use these to make sure you guys have a very successful hunt this year, and you're using quality products that are going to get the job done, that aren't going to fail you. So basically what we got are the broadheads there, and what I'm going to do is open up this, and these are my field points that I ordered. And if you're going to be shooting a 125 grain broadhead, you plan on doing that, you need to use 125 grain field points. If you're not using the correct field points, let's say you use a 75 grain field point and you sight it in, and then you're just like, well, it'll be close enough when I slap on a 125 grain broadhead. It's not going to be the same. Even with a field point 125 grain to a broadhead, it can be a little bit different. Just because it's a different, it's a different shape. It's going to be it could fly a little bit different, but for the most part, you should be good if you practice with a broadhead. I mean, with field points that are 125 grain, let's say, or 100 grain if you're going to use a 100 grain broadhead, and you use a broadhead that basically says flies field point true, field point accuracy. I mean, basically, you should be fine. Now, you can still test with these if you want, just to make sure. Buy an extra pack, but you should be fine. But I do recommend you test your broadheads before going off to the field, because you're going to be shooting at the expense of the animal, not yourself. So I would rather you be safe than sorry and end up with an animal injured because of poor accuracy or something like that. So basically, these are Excalibur field points, 125 grain. They should be fine. I don't think it really matters too much on that end. But just a good rule of thumb: shoot the same weight of field point as you are going to broadhead. Now, basically, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to tell you why I'm shooting 125 grain and not 100 grains anymore out of this crossbow. For my bow, my compound, I still shoot 100 grains right now. I might bump that up to 125 this year as well. But basically, it's kind of a touchy subject. People are going to argue both ways. Oh, you need speed to kill deer. It's not necessarily the speed that's going to make your hunt, make or break your hunt. It's going to be accuracy and knockdown power, which is going to get you penetration. So let me try to make this clear. So basically, what you're going to want is you want all that weight as far forward as you can, so that this back here, basically, that these veins, it can control where that weight is going to be hitting. So like, if you have a 100 grain broadhead, you're going to be sitting not quite, but almost 50% of the way back on the shaft is going to be your balance point, right? That's going to be where it's going to be sitting, just about flush like this. With this 125, basically your balance point is a lot further forward, which is going to give you more of your bolt in the end to control where that weight's headed. You see what I'm saying? So basically, you want your bolt to be able to control the broadhead or the field point that's on the end of that more than the field point or the broadhead controlling the flight of the arrow, because that can lead to unpredictability and loss in accuracy and a lot of other key things, and which is also going to result in more poor knockdown power, aka knockdown power, and penetration is basically what you're referring to that as. So nonetheless, basically what you want, let's just sum it up and make it a little more simple. You want more of your weight up front so that the rest of the bolt or arrow, whatever you want to refer to it as, or maybe this will still apply to compounds, so you have more of the arrow in the veins to be able to control that weight, versus if your weight's back here, let's say you're doing 50-50, you're going to get a lot more of this, versus if your weight is more centered up towards the front, then basically you're going to have a lot less of this wobble going on, and basically it's just going to be able to take that better, but this is also going to be able to guide that weight a lot better, and it's going to, in the end result, with a heavier broadhead, you're going to get more accuracy, you're going to get more penetration, and in the end, that's what kills deer, that's what knocks down big game animals. It's not necessarily speed. Who cares about speed? I mean, speed's important, but it's not the key thing that is going to result in better penetration and better accuracy. Speed is a good thing. A lot of it will have to do with making sure you've got that weight that you need up front, but it's also going to give you more of your arrow or your bolt to be able to control that weight and get it to where it needs to go, and get it there in a very accurate form, get it there in the best way possible to make sure that It's not just getting there, but it's getting there where it's supposed to be, on target every time. Hopefully that makes some kind of sense. I just wanted to try to kind of clear that up. And don't forget, guys, if you guys want to pick up some 125 grain broadheads and these G5 125 grain G5 Montec broadheads for a deadly combination, definitely pick these up. I will leave links in the description below. Let's see if you can focus in on these. These things are murderers right here, okay? These things are devastating. So you want to definitely pick those up if you want some more true flight and you don't want to have any, you know, sporadic, unpredictable flight. Let's say a blade opens up or some nonsense like that. That can lead to a very bad day of hunting. So when you give that weight up front, you're just going to get better accuracy, you're going to get better penetration, and all the good stuff that you want. Definitely pick up those field points and broadheads. I will leave links in the description below. If you guys want to pick up the G5 Havocs if you're shooting a compound, I love those. I use 100 grain Havocs out of my compound setup, and I really believe in those broadheads. I think they fly pretty good. I like that setup as well for my compound. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you did like this video, definitely show me by leaving your like on the video. Leave your comments below. Subscribe if you have not, and I will catch you in the next video. Peace.